Tennessee's not won in the swamp since 2003. Florida is all about Lane Kiffin, Lane Kiffin, Lane Kiffin. What about the game?
You are Locked On College Crossover, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey everybody, welcome to Locked On Crossover. Locked On Vols meets Locked On Gators. I am Locked On Vols host Eric Cain with Brandon Olson of Locked On Gators. This is your Wednesday Locked On Vols crossover presented by our great friends over at FanDuel Sportsbook, where new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you're going to get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. You can download that app today. We are a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcasting network available right now, so that is awesome, and we're going to preview and discuss and just get after it. It's a rivalry game, right? Tennessee at Florida. It's coming up on Saturday, 7:30 on ABC, and we're going to go over loads of things. We're going to make some picks there towards the end. We'll look at what FanDuel has to say about this football game. We'll get some keys. We're going to look at offense, defense, turnovers, two quarterbacks that turn the football over too much. But more so than anything, Brandon, I want to get into right here as we begin the show. Like, the game is important, don't get me wrong, but the biggest story from the Tennessee side is, man, Tennessee hasn't won in the swamp since 2003, since Casey Clausen. Like, it's been forever. And Tennessee's gone in the swamp so many different times, the better football team, and has found ways to lose. I mean, there's been Hail Marys at the buzzer. There's been turnovers. I mean, they've lost this game any which way you can possibly imagine. For Florida, I mean, you're 3-7, 2-5. You've got an interim coach. You've lost 3 straight or whatever, but it's all about Lane Kiffin, Lane Kiffin, Lane Kiffin. So let's start there. What's the vibe in Gainesville this week? How much thought is actually going into this Tennessee game? Because this is a game that Florida fans get up for, no doubt. But what's kind of the balancing act of the game and, of course, the coaching search in Lane Kiffin?
I think right now there's 2 sections of the fan base, right? I think there's one that cares about Lane Kiffin and one, and I mean specifically Lane Kiffin. Like, they're not like, oh, yeah, coaching search. They're Lane Kiffin. That's it. For a lot of fans, that's where it starts and ends. For me, that's where it starts, not where it ends. I think there are plenty of good candidates. I think even Lane, as optimistic as I am about him, not a home run hire or not like a slam dunk guarantee anything. I don't think that exists right now in college football. But then there's another section of the fan base that cares about the coaching hire and the games that are still being played. This isn't like the NFL where we just go, you know what? I hope you lose out and get a better draft pick. Like this, you still want guys to play well, succeed, and win games, and especially when it's Tennessee. Like that's what everyone's hanging on to right now. Is Florida's really bad right now, right? No one can deny that. You lost to USF at home. You lost 38-7 against Kentucky. No one can deny what you scored on like the first drive. No one can deny that really bad right now. But even when Florida's been really bad, and even when Tennessee has been really good, Florida somehow wins in the swamp. And so I think that's what a lot of fans are like, as embarrassing as it sounds, we can get win number 4. Things get weird. We can get win number 4. And I think a lot of Florida fans were hoping that this would be more of a spoiler opportunity. But unfortunately, not going to happen there. Not much to spoil anymore.
It's crazy because, going into the season, you look at that game, November 22nd in the swamp, and it's like, oh boy, Tennessee's fighting for its playoff chances, and that was the plan. Of course, losing that third game to Oklahoma kind of knocked you out of the race. And now Tennessee, as crazy as it is, man, going to be playing spoiler for Vanderbilt at the end of the year. It's just wild. I would have never imagined that. But it is crazy. Like, and myself included, it's kind of like, I mean, all season long, including this week, I'm like, okay, Tennessee is clearly the better football team. Florida's clearly got a top, 4 or 5 talented roster in all the SEC. People that disagree with that don't know ball. I think Florida's biggest issue was its head coach, specifically in-game head coach. I mean, he did a lot of great things on non-game days, right? But the fact of the matter is, I don't care how good Florida's played. I mean, I do care because, again, good team. 4-point loss to Georgia, a 10-point loss to Ole Miss on the road. I mean, beat Texas. Still 3-7, still 2-5. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, but it's in the swamp. So it's like all those things, and I know Tennessee's inconsistent in some regards as well, but it's like no matter what, it's just like it's in the swamp. So like for the fan base on this side, it's like Tennessee's fans can't get over that. For the team, and this is the most important thing, for the team, like, I mean, we asked one of the linebackers earlier this week and, about that, and, like, do you lean into that? Do you use it as motivation? He's like, I mean, I got to be honest with you, we know about it, but, like, all I remember is losing to Florida my freshman year down there. Like, I mean, that's all I was a part of. And so you just got to treat this like the next game and everything. So I don't know. I think it's pretty intriguing to, like, anytime Tennessee Florida plays, it's a big matchup, obviously. But this year it's always dominated by Lane Kiffin, and it's about the streak for Tennessee. So getting into the game a little bit, we know about Florida, interim head coach Billy Gonzalez. We know the season that it's kind of been, but kind of on that note, man, Florida is a team that, like the Kentucky game, such an anomaly because Florida has played so hard and Florida's played so tough, and Florida has not quit except 2 weeks ago in the Bluegrass. What the heck happened that game, and overall, kind of how is this team playing right now effort-wise, knowing that it's a team that's not going to go bowling?
Yeah, I think that the Kentucky game, and we had tight end Hayden Henson on the show last week to talk about the Kentucky game, and it was basically like, look, that game was so uncharacteristic of us. We just throw it out because that's what happens, right? Like basketball, Steph Curry, he shoots 2 for 16 from 3 in a game, which doesn't happen. But if he does that, you're not going to go, wow, Steph Curry sucks. You're going to go, oh, Steph Curry had a really uncharacteristic game. Let's wash it down. And that's what they did against Kentucky. This is a team that, honestly, I thought that was a breaking point. I will completely say I thought Kentucky was a breaking point because Kentucky plays so physical. Like they're not good, right? Mm-hmm. But they play so physical that if you're not willing to match that for 60 minutes, they're gonna kick your ass. Like it's as simple as that. If you're not willing to match Kentucky's physicality, that's what's gonna happen. I think that this defense came out, saw DJ Lagway throw his first pick, and went, oh, it's one of those days for DJ. We're gonna give this up. And then he threw 3 picks in the first half, got benched for true freshman Tramel Jones at halftime. I get why the defense would give up. I was talking about this week 2. I was like, look, this offense doesn't do something. This defense, as good as they are, at some point, they're going to go, what the hell is the point of even trying anymore if our offense is just going to do that? They scored 24 points against Ole Miss. That was the second most they've scored against a group of 5, against a Power 4 team this year. That's embarrassing. Their most is 29. They haven't cracked 30 yet, which, ironically enough, Tennessee hasn't held an SEC opponent under 30. So going to be really interesting.
Whoa, Oklahoma now. Come on.
Sorry. My bad.
Tennessee, I mean, obviously it's super exciting. It's got a fun offense, and we'll talk about the quarterbacks here in a moment because, I mean, obviously DJ Lagway is so talented, has a turnover issue. Joey Aguilar, and I'll talk about his interceptions here in a moment. But yeah, I mean, Tennessee moves the football offensively. It's not running it as well as it has in years past, but it's still on pace for like 2,300 yards, a little bit more, which is really good. It's just the defense coming into the season. Tennessee's defense last year was elite. Tennessee's defense carried the Volunteers to the playoff. Some injuries. Tennessee's not played one whole game at all, but Jamal McCoy's been out the entire year. Okay, he's an All-American. Ricky Gibson played 19 snaps. Those are your 2 starting corners. I mean, they've been out for the year. And you had a bunch of injuries on the defensive line. But even more than that, man, Tennessee, the last 2 games, they've tackled better than they have all year, which is a good thing. They've only missed 5 tackles each of the past 2 games, but they've not been a good tackling football team. Angles have been bad. Run fits have been bad. They do things at an elite level. Like at one time, they led the nation in sacks midway through. They still sack the quarterback at a good level. They are second in the country in defensive touchdowns. They are one of the league leaders in takeaways in the Southeastern Conference. They are opportunistic, but just the simple things like stopping the run on a consistent basis, stopping the pass on a consistent basis, it does not do that well enough. And so it's been very interesting because going into the year, everybody was clowning Joey Aguilar, saying he was going to be awful. And, the Tennessee get cash considerations from UCLA for the Nico trade because Tennessee didn't win that. Clearly, Tennessee's better offensively without Nico and with Joey, but it's been the defense has been kind of a disappointment. So I think long story short, and we'll kind of get into talking those quarterbacks specifically in segment 2 here in a second, I think Tennessee, if you go and poll 100 Vol fans in July, and you say you're going to finish the season 9-3, 8-4, and you're going to have the number 2 offense in the nation, number 1 offense in the SEC, they'd be like, "Oh my God, hell, like let's go!" But it's the way you get there. When you put up 21 points in the first quarter and throw it all over Georgia, you're like, "Oh, this team should be a playoff team. This team should win 10 games." And when you see the defense kind of do what it does, it's a little bit disappointing. So It's been a weird year, but a chance for Tennessee at least to go and do something it hadn't done since 03, and a chance for Florida to pick up some steam potentially before Lane Kiffin gets into town. We'll see what happens there. When we come back, though, specifically DJ Lagway, what the heck's gone wrong? Okay, Joey Aguilar, what's gone wrong lately with the turnovers? We'll talk quarterbacks when we return right here on this Locked On Crossover, Locked On Vols, and Locked On Gators. Hey guys, want to see about our friends over at FanDuel Sportsbook? The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on all that action than over at FanDuel Sportsbook. It's the official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association. Even if you miss the start of the game or want to ride that hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into same-game parlays for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game more exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Listen to this new deal right now. If you're new to FanDuel, okay? FanDuel's giving new customer $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. One more time, that is new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Who else is doing that? FanDuel Sportsbook, futures bets. Look at Tennessee and Florida. We'll talk about this more in segment number 3, but Tennessee at the time of this recording, a 3.5-point favorite on the road. Okay, that total of 57.5. I don't know about the total. I don't know about the total. I think Tennessee either wins outright. I don't think Tennessee's going to win by a point or two, or Tennessee's just going to lose. So I'm very intrigued by Tennessee being a road favorite, although I know kind of where Florida is. It's just the history of this series, right? We'll discuss that in segment number 3, but so much more over at FanDuel Sportsbook that you can put some coin in your pocket. FanDuel Sportsbook's where you can make every moment more. It's the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Locked On Vols, Locked On Gators coming up on the game, at least coming up on Saturday, 7:30. And this is the week where, and again, we're not going to have a conversation. I did this earlier in the week, and Chris Marler does it every single day on social media. Big Ten versus SEC and all that. But this is the week where there's a lot of pay games, okay, in the league. And the fact that Tennessee and Florida, 3-7, 7-3, is getting 7:30, the A team, ABC, it's just comical, right? But that's where we are. Let's talk quarterbacks, okay? You go first with DJ Lagway. DJ Lagway was getting Heisman love, top 3 quarterback in the nation all summer long. And I mean, the talent's undeniable. He's very talented. But he has a turnover issue dating back to last season, man. 9 turnovers as a part-time starter. What's been going wrong for him, and has he maybe turned a corner in the last couple of weeks outside of the Kentucky game?
Yeah, let's start with going back for a second to last year, 2024. Very clear, at least if you listen to Locked On Gators. DJ Lagway had a lot of room to grow. Like he was a fantastic deep ball thrower. He was not a fantastic quarterback. He wasn't a great quarterback at all. He had a lot of room to grow, loved the deep ball, but defenses adjust, and DJ Lagway didn't adjust. Why didn't DJ Lagway adjust? Because he spent all offseason injured, shoulder, leg, whatever it might have been. He was injured the whole time. And I believe that with the foot, ankle, calf, whatever injury you want to call it there, I believe he was still trying to throw in that, and that shot his mechanics. I think that he couldn't fully function, but he was still trying to get throws in, and it shot his mechanics, killed his footwork, and then he comes into the season with basically a week of full practice. That's what it was, because it was week 3, and Billy Napier said, yeah, he's had 4 weeks of practice, and so he basically went into the season with a week of practice. And his mechanics look so different, right? He's throwing fadeaway balls 45 yards downfield. It's not happening. He's throwing off platform, horrible. A lot of what's gone on with DJ Lagway, I think, stems from the injuries, hurting his mechanics, and that paired with no experience to develop, no reps in the offseason to develop. I think he's actually regressed because of that. Defenses adjusted. He didn't have time to work and adjust. And his mechanics got shot because of the injury. And look, he's going to be a gunslinger always, right? He's going to make mistakes. He's going to throw picks. That's fine. But he's done it far too often. And I still think he's fixable. I do. I still think he's fixable. What I've come to terms with is that developmentally, he's still a freshman. Yeah. That's what it is. He's not a sophomore developmentally. He's a freshman. And I think he's fixable. I don't know if he's fixable at Florida. I think that there's been a lot of backlash that he's received, and a lot of fans have come for his neck, which is going to happen at most colleges, most SEC schools, if he plays as poorly as he's played. But I still think he's a very fixable quarterback, and I still think that he's got a lot of promise.
Yeah, I mean, if he were to remain at Florida, I mean, whoever the head coach is, Lane or whoever, I mean, what a great talent to kind of work with. It leads the SEC with 13 interceptions. That's 3 more than Joey Aguilar, Taylor Green, and somebody else has 10 picks.
Leads the FBS.
Yeah, leading the FBS, 1,980 yards passing, 12 touchdowns. He's completing passes at 63%. That is DJ Lagway. Now, you look at Joey Aguilar and everybody in the offseason, taking their shots at Tennessee. Oh, Nico left. Those same people talking about how Nico sucked all year last year. But Nico left. You guys are going to be garbage. In comes in Joey Aguilar, little UCLA, had a cup of coffee, was at App State in the Sun Belt, and 24 picks in 2 years. I mean, Brett Favre, gunslinger, and all that. And, it is what it is. And came in, and he was phenomenal, man. And, early in the season, he had I think he had 5 picks through his first 4 or 5 games. But, I mean, I promise you, man, this is not just me being Tennessee homer here. This is one of the picks, the receiver fell down, went right to the defensive back. Another pick was somebody just threw Chris Brazzell down. The ball was batted up in the air for 10. It was one of those weird plays. 2 picks came off the hands of Miles Kitselman at Mississippi State that should have been caught. I mean, you could validate these. It's okay, well, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad. Here lately, man, going back to the pick 6 at Alabama before the half, horrible ball placement there. He's thrown 4 picks in each of the last 2 ball games first halves, and 2 of those interceptions are on the same play. It felt backside pressure, forced his throw, sped up his clock, just sailed it over the middle. Safety's oh, thank you, let me go back. He's now putting the ball in harm's way, which he really didn't do that for the first 6-7 games of the season. And so, here lately it's kind of there's some of those 24 picks we saw at App State a little bit. So it's been unfortunate. Still in that regard, I mean, guy is averaging 330, 340 yards through the air, whatever. He's leading the SEC in passing. I mean, I'll take a turnover or 2. He's now averaging an interception per game, which is not great, but I'll take that if he's throwing for 350 and 3 touchdowns, which is what he's been doing. He's been awesome. It's been fun to watch. But 2 quarterbacks that are a little bit turnover prone for sure from 2 offenses. And I think in this game, man, I'm intrigued to know what this crowd's going to look like. I think it's going to be awesome. Number 1, because it's Tennessee. Number 2, Florida hadn't had a home game in over a month. This will be the first home game without Billy Napier. And I was talking with my buddies at Gators Online, and they were kind of saying hey, the fan base, once you get rid of the guy that nobody wants, the fan base starts kind of to heal a little bit. And I think that's kind of maybe where Florida is right now. And I think if Florida could get up early and Tennessee turns it over early, that could spell disaster for Tennessee. Now, do want to ask you this. I noticed that Florida is a horrendous fourth quarter football team, outscored 70-something to 27 this season. They've had leads in the fourth quarter. Why can't Florida finish? Is it a mistake towards the end? Do they run out of juice? Why hasn't this Florida team been able to finish and maybe earn a couple more wins on the season?
You said they have 27 points in the fourth quarter. I would have thought you were lying before that. This is a team that this season they average 5.2 points per second half. That's it. They are averaging 5. They're averaging less than 2 field goals. Not even less than 2 field goals in the second half. And look, part of that is because of the Kentucky game. They had 3 possessions in the second half. Kentucky took 7 minutes off the clock. Florida took 7 minutes off the clock. That was the third quarter. That was the whole third quarter. It was just 2 drives. And so part of it's that. Part of it is, honestly, that this defense, they consistently get thrown into crappy spots by this offense, and they start to break down. And so teams have long second half possessions against Florida's defense where they're exhausted. They're out there for 80, 90 plays sometimes. And it's they're going to be really tired. They can't get off the field. Teams start chewing clock against them because they know they can. And Florida, passing attack's been awful, right? I don't think anybody is going to dispute that. DJ Lagway has been horrendous. There's no other way to put it. I love the kid. Horrendous this year. No other way to phrase that. A lot of it comes down to him. You get behind big in the second half and you need to throw the ball and you can't. This offensive line, not very good run blocking this year. I think that they've gotten better on film, but the production hasn't been there. I think since firing Billy Napier, Ryan O'Hara has taken a bit of a different approach with the run game schematically, and I love it. I just don't think that this offensive line is very good at executing the run game. Pass blocking, they've been pretty good, but run game's not there. So if you can't run the ball effectively because of your line, and you can't throw the ball because of your quarterback, I mean, at a certain point, teams are going to adjust to your first half. They've got great scripted drive. Good job. But second half comes and play calling becomes a little bit more predictable, a little bit like you kind of know what they want to do. And they just can't do it. They don't have the run blocking to really dictate the pace, dictate the tempo. And second half just gets away from them. Defense, you can only hold up for so long. And I feel so bad for this defense because I know that numbers have started to skew negative for this defense. You watch the tape. This is such a talented defense. They're so good. And this offense just spits in their face every week. That's all. Like they're Jamar Chase, Jalen Ramsey. That's what they're doing. This offense just spits in their face.
I mean, it's amazing. And I know LSU's struggling. I know LSU fired their coach. I know Nussmeier's had a horrible year as well. But like the fact that in Death Valley, you turn the football over 5 times and you lose by 10 points.
And you only give up 20 points with one of those being a pick 6.
It's incredible. And yeah, you're right. The numbers are skewed a little bit. 3 of the last 5 games, Florida's given up 30 points or more. But this defense has been pretty stout all year long, at least. You look at Tennessee as well, and the defense kind of gives up a lot of rush yards at points in times. They've really kind of tightened up the last couple of games. I mean, New Mexico State is an anomaly because they don't really count, but Tennessee only gave up 27 yards rushing in that game. But did a really good job outside of a couple of quarterback runs with John Mateer against Oklahoma. Again, this is just kind of a defense that's had a lot of holes in it a little bit at points in time. So I'll be intrigued to see if they run DJ Lagway a little bit more. Tennessee's not done well in that regard. Tennessee's not set edges well. Jaden Ball is a really good, really talented runner as well. So I think that could be a key in this football game. We'll continue to talk that, some keys in this football game. We'll get picks, Tennessee, Florida. How's Saturday going to go? We will wrap it up here on the other side. This is Locked On Vols and Locked On Gators. Stay tuned. College football is back only for a few more weeks, though. Then it's bowl season. But the tailgates, the rivalries like this week, Tennessee, Florida, it's just so exciting. I love it so much. Best time of the year. But let's be real. Going to these college football games, maybe this weekend in the Swamp, sometimes buying tickets to those games, or if we're talking concerts or comedy shows, not just games, but pretty much any event in your area, sometimes buying tickets for those events, for those football games, it's tougher than the game itself. Endless queues, hidden fees, prices jumping at checkout. Not so fast at game time. Game time's like, no, not with us. It gives the advantage back to the fans, back to the concert goers. It's the easiest way to score last-minute tickets, the best prices with no surprise fees. What you see is what you pay for. I pulled up the Game Time app in just a couple of taps. I saw amazing deals. I'm talking about some college football games. Tickets to those games as low as $25 on the Game Time app. It's super simple. I can see my exact view from the seat before I actually paid. And again, those prices do not jump at checkout. I love those zone deals as well. Listen to this. I pick the section, Game Time picks the seats, and you save money. Take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets today with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, put in the redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's promo code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. Locked On Vols and Locked On Gators, a little Locked On crossover. I'm Eric Cain. Brandon Olson's here. Tennessee, at the time of this recording, Brandon, it is a 3.5-point favorite. I know Florida's 3-7, but were you surprised that Tennessee was a road favorite?
Not very much. Okay. I mean, look, I think it comes down to Tennessee's not great defensively, right? That doesn't matter for Florida. They are not putting up points. Like it comes down to like Tennessee. At some point, what this season tells you is that Florida's offense will not show up. And at some point, the dam will break for Florida.
I'll say this, though, and, more reason for Florida fans to hate Tennessee. Tennessee unlocked Cutter Boley. All you needed was that Tennessee defense. And Cutter Boley was like, oh, I can play this thing called football. Let's throw it down the field. And he drilled Tennessee, and he drilled Florida a couple weeks later.
Yeah. Unfortunately, even if there are receivers open downfield, which I know DJ Lagway completed 2 deep passes against Ole Miss, if there are receivers open downfield, DJ Lagway needs to do this thing called complete those passes. And despite being arguably the best deep ball passer in the entire country last year, this year he's been nothing short of terrible. He's got on passes 20+ yards downfield. He's completing 33% of those, 3 touchdowns, 6 picks. Like he's been really bad throwing the deep ball this year.
On the flip side, Joey Aguilar is one of the best in the country.
Which, yeah, honestly, can I ask that real quick?
Yeah.
When Joey Aguilar came to Tennessee, did you think they'd be this good? Because for me, I didn't think Nico was very good. But I thought another year as starter in this offense, I feel like that usually leads to a big jump. And so I thought there'd be that. I was low on Joey Aguilar, not because of who he is. He could have been anybody, but coming into the offense, picking it up, and it's so timing based. I thought that, or so much about being on the same page, I'll say. I thought that was going to be the issue. But he came in, and probably what Joey Aguilar is doing this year is better than what I thought Nico would do, even with year 2, expecting a big jump.
No, to answer your question, no, absolutely not. And I thought Joey Aguilar, and again, he got here in May. Like, it wasn't just a new quarterback. Like, he didn't have spring. Like, he came in here for summer. And I thought, like, all right, so look at Nico, look at Joe Milton, look at Hendon Hooker. What do these quarterbacks have in common? They don't turn the football over in the Heupel system. So I'm like, okay, knowing Joey Aguilar kind of has a turnover issue, at least in his past, can you come here, limit those turnovers? Nico struggled to average 200 yards through the air a game. Let's be real. And I'm like, can you just do what Nico did last year, but limit the turnovers, run the football, because you know Tennessee will run the football, and rely on what I thought was going to be a good defense. Tennessee has a clear path to the playoffs. Tennessee can win these games, win 10 games. It's just not how it went, right? He came in against Syracuse, and when his footwork's off, he misses high, and he missed a little bit in that season opener, but I mean, he hit like a 73-yard bomb to Braylon Staley just in stride, and I'm like, okay, here we got something. He didn't truly know that, like, okay, this is going to be the norm this year, and I understand Florida is not as good. Excuse me, I understand Georgia is not what Georgia's been in years past, but Georgia's still pretty daggone good, and I think they're getting better every week, and I think they're one of the national contenders this year. When you saw him do that to Georgia, it's like, oh, okay. Here, we got lightning in a bottle this year. Let's go. So he's been fun to watch. And again, he has turned the football over a little bit, but he's just so mature. He carries a moxie about him. Like, he's not played at this level, until this year, but like, you can tell he's played so much football. Takes what the defense gives him. Sometimes it's a little backyard football, and sometimes that gets him in trouble. But he's been really, really good, and it's been fun to watch for sure. So to answer your question, no, I did not see this happening. And I'll say this too, like, I was one of the biggest Nico defenders out there. Like, I recognize where his stats was, but I, like you, like, look at Dante Thornton, wide receiver. Look at Chris Brazzell this year. Look at Hendon Hooker, and even though Hendon was really good in 2021, all these guys took major jumps in the offense in the second year. And Nico has all this talent, right? And he really didn't put the football in harm's way. I thought he would take a step. I don't think his step would have been what Joey Aguilar has given Tennessee this year. So it's been really cool to see in that regard. Before we get into our picks, I want to ask you real quick before I forget. Florida gave up 240 on the ground last week. Florida gave up 230 on the ground to Kentucky. Back-to-back games giving up over 200 yards rushing. I saw last year Mississippi State run all over Florida, and I'm like, Tennessee is just going to run it down Florida's throat and just drill them that way. Didn't happen. I think a key for Tennessee in this football game, Tennessee's too pass happy. Having to say all I just said about Joey Aguilar, Tennessee's way too pass happy. I feel like Tennessee's not patient enough with the run, and they've got a really good talented running back in DeSean Bishop. I think Tennessee needs to not dominate, but get the first downs on the ground, control the football game with the ground game. I think Tennessee's going to have to be effective on the ground. I think there's opportunity there, but again, I saw Mississippi State just kill Florida on the ground last year, and then Tennessee really couldn't, accompany that. So I think a key for Tennessee, obviously, football 101, run the football, don't be one-dimensional. I think there's opportunity, especially on the road when you want to lean on that with the crowd and all that. Run the football for Tennessee. I think there's some opportunity there. What's a key for you, number one key in this football game?
Yeah, I think Florida's offense needs to not shoot the entire team in the face, not the foot. They shoot this team in the face. That's really it. Like I think that if this offense just protected the football a little bit, if DJ Lagway protected the football a little bit, I think this offense would be scoring a decent bit more. You think about it, he's turning the ball over not even every game he's like, okay, I'm going to turn it over 3 times today. I'm going to throw 5 picks against LSU today. He threw 3 in the first half against Kentucky. Lord knows what would have happened if they didn't bench him for Tramel Jones. And I think that leads a lot to it. As far as the Florida Gators run defense, Ole Miss should have blown him out of the water. Really, that's what it is. Ole Miss should have destroyed Florida last week. The thing was, Lane did what Lane likes to do, which is try to throw the football, try to put up points that way. If he ran the ball, he would have put up 45 easily. When Florida was still in the game, Ole Miss was trying to throw the football. I think that, Miles Graham has been dealing with some sort of injury the past couple weeks. And I do think that that's part of why they've maybe taken a bit of a step back, is because, you've got your Mike linebacker not out there to make the plays where he's been exceptional for so much of this season. He's been balling, and he's been unable to do that. I think safety play has been terrible of run fits. I think that this defensive line does a good job of saying, hey, we're going to not give up ground here, but linebackers, safeties, nickel, you got to come up and make the stop. And I don't think that the back half of this defense or the back 2/3 of this defense has done their job in recent weeks. And I think that's really where it comes down to. So, Tennessee, you're going to run these gap run schemes, and your running backs just got to get through that. And if Florida's linebacker play, Florida's safety play is what it's been, congratulations on your 200-yard game.
All right. That being said, pick time. Again, courtesy of our friends over FanDuel Sportsbook, time of this recording, Tennessee is a 3.5-point road favorite. That total is at 57.5. Everything about me wants to take the under here because Tennessee just plays like crap in the swamp. Florida's offense is so bad. Maybe this is the year that Tennessee can win down in the swamp. I mean, if it's literally not this year, will it ever happen? Again, Tennessee's turned the football over the last couple weeks, and they still scored a lot of points. I think Tennessee's going to get it done because I think Tennessee's going to score points, and I do think Florida's going to score points. I don't know if it'll go over 30, but I think Florida will definitely score points. I just think Tennessee's going to score a whole lot more. When I say a whole lot more, I just think more. And I think Tennessee will be able to run this football. And again, I do think Tennessee's defense, for as bad as it's been at points and times, it does do a few things at an elite level. That's get after the quarterback, that's create takeaways. And you've got the SEC, the FBS leader in interceptions on the other side. I think there's going to be some opportunities there to where, hey, if Tennessee does turn the football over, they're going to get a couple of chances to make up for it. And so I think that's going to be something that's going to happen in this football game. So all that being said, slight over. I want to take the under, but give me a slight over. 35-24 Tennessee wins in the swamp in a game that I'm sure will be much uglier than that score. And I just hope that it's Tennessee that snaps the streak here so we don't have to talk about it whenever the next time is Tennessee goes down to Florida. I don't have the schedule in front of me.
Yeah, I can tell you now, I'm not touching the point total just because I don't know if this is going to be the week where Florida's offense finally does something. I trust Tennessee to put up points, sure. But I don't know if it's going to be the week where Florida's offense finally does something, because if they don't do something, do I think Tennessee is going to go out there and score 45? No. And so I'm not going to touch that, because if this offense scores 12, that is what it is. I will say this. I'm going to be wrong here, but I'm just going to be completely honest with you, Eric. I refuse to pick Tennessee in this. I have no problem saying that I'm going to be wrong. I have no problem saying that this is one of the few times I will not be unbiased about it. I'm going to be totally biased. I'm picking Florida to win this game 21-17. I'm picking like messy, ugly, gross. I acknowledge, again, this is not me being genuine and sincere and unbiased. This is me just saying I refuse to pick Tennessee here. And I will die on that. Same way with Florida. I said they're going to beat Ole Miss, even though I know who's better. Doesn't matter. Sometimes I just need to boost my ego in a year where this team sucks. So that's what I'm doing right here.
Tennessee and Florida, 7:30 on ABC. And, of course, if you want more Florida coverage leading into this game and the latest on the Lane Kiffin pursuit and all that more, check out Brandon Locked on Gators. If you want to know more about Tennessee's offense, Joey Aguilar, kind of what's made him successful from a Florida interest level, come check us out at Locked On Balls. We'll have shows throughout the rest of the week. We'll have post-game shows and all that and more. Check out the crossover edition of the show coming out tomorrow as well, or the squad edition of the podcast. coming out with the rest of our SEC hosts. That's coming out tomorrow on Thursday as well. For Brandon Olson of Locked On Gators, I'm Eric Cain of Locked On Vols. Thanks so much for joining us every day at both shows. We'll be back tomorrow right here on Locked On Vols and Locked On Gators.